And welcome everyone to the MGM Resorts NBA Summer League. The city of Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world, aglow, glittering at night. As we have the second half of our double dip for you tonight, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Chicago Bulls, both teams looking for their second win here in Summer League play. Laker Nation showing up in full effect. Purple, gold everywhere as they look for win number 2. Mark Jones chopping it up. That's Doris Burke, Cassidy Hubbard joining us in just a bit. Hey, one of the major storylines emerging early here in July at Summer League in Las Vegas has been the play of Wendell Carter. To think that Bagley was maybe the more acclaimed of the two, but this guy certainly is taking no back seat to anybody so far in July.
Well, that's a stat line from yesterday versus Cleveland, and I just thought he looked so confident and comfortable and prepared for the NBA level. And remember, he played alongside of Bagley, and so probably averaged fewer points and rebounds. He showed an ability to stretch the ball from distance. He's got nice touches. That little short jumper there just outside the box shows. Is he a defensive presence? You bet. He is battling Ante Zizic, a big-time frame. So look, he's paying attention. He's getting off the ball. He has vision on the ball. Zizic isn't involved, so he goes, all right, twice on the pipes for you, because you can't come in my paint. And he just told Cassidy, I don't like it when people score on me. So is he going to give up on a play? No. He lets his teammate challenge the first and swallows up the second. It was fun watching him.
See what he does here for a second act in a city with a lot of them. Hey, he got a lot of help yesterday from Antonio Blakeney,
yes,
who was the G League Rookie of the Year, a dynamic, quote-unquote, bucket getter, in the words of his coach, Randy Brown.
Well, Blakeney is a guy who is, I think, very talented. He was a little bit raw, but he has developed as one of those two-way contract guys, the ability to go and get buckets. In fact, last year when he was up with the Big Bull squad, he would actually get inserted into the game if they needed some points.
Yeah, there was the Rookie of the Year. 32 points a game last year for the G League affiliate, the Windy City Bulls. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. Josh Hart had a mandate from Miles Simon and the rest of the coaching staff with the Los Angeles Lakers. Tell us about that mandate, and he looks like he's fulfilling it here early.
Well, what a night. He had 24 points on incredibly efficient shooting from both the 2- and 3-point lines. And let's be real, the mandate was, you should dominate this league. This is your second summer league. You got major time for the regular Laker team. The mandate was be a better ball handler and more confident shooter and scorer. Be a decision maker, aggressive. He was all of those things, Mark.
Well, interesting, Dork. Josh Hart did a lot of the heavy lifting, but he had a lot of help as well from two of their rookies. Mo Wagner out of Michigan, who played in the Final Four, and Mikhailuk, who played 23 minutes, was extremely efficient with 17 points.
I love the edge that Wagner played with. He's a big that's super skilled, and Mikhailuk is just a flat-out dangerous shooter who gets it off in a hurry. He's more than just a shooter, but his ability to get percolating from 3 and to get it off quick is impressive.
Hey, Cassidy had a chance to talk to Wagner a little bit earlier.
Thanks, Mark. Mo, yesterday you had a spirited performance, 16 points, 8 boards, emotional one-handed dunk when you got this crowd going. How would you describe your competitive edge?
I don't know. I think it's just me. It's been like that in everything I do, I think, my entire life. It's just fun to be out here with the guys and with the crowd, so it was a good night.
Yeah, it's a pro-Lakers crowd here. I'm sure you're feeling that. And you talk about the guys. You had a lot of your teammates on this baseline here, on the sideline. What was that like for you? I know Kyle Kuzma, Alonzo, they both took home MVPs last year. Giving you advice?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're in contact with them. It's great to see them out there to support you. It's a new world for me, so you got to get used to it, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's just basketball, so I'm trying to embrace that.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Back to you, Mark.
Gotta love his youthful innocence and naivety.
It's great.
Just comes through, doesn't it?
It does.
Well, a year ago, Kyle Kuzma was the guy at midcourt, not sitting on the sidelines. As we take a look at the starting lineups, Arcidiacono and Blakeney in the backcourt, Ingram, Hutchison, their other first-round pick, along with Carter. Mikhailuk, Caruso, Hart, Jonathan Williams, and Mo Wagner in the front court for the Los Angeles Lakers. And we are set for the opening tip.
Two Villanova guys standing next to one another having a little conversation. Archie Diacono and Josh Hart. Villanova starting to build a little collection of talent here in the league.
Jay Wright's got it rolling in Philadelphia. And his guys come into the NBA ready to go. Hart bringing it up court against Blakeney. Caruso with the ball, who is their two-way player. The lob up top. That was a nice play call by Miles Simon, Doris, on the opening possession.
Bad communication defensively, and then a missed layup. It's Summer League.
They turned Jonathan Williams wide open. Blakeney with 3 on the clock. Got to go. Tough possession to open the ball game for the Chicago Bulls. Alex Caruso with the ball. He was the Lakers' one of 2 designated two-way contract players last year. Spent a lot of time with the big club, the Lakers, as well as the team in South Bay. And Caruso on cue with the lefty layup. Caruso with good size at that point guard spot, Doris.
He
6'5".
sure does, yeah.
Carter inside. That's going to be a foul against Wagner.
And Wagner saying he pushed off.
Yeah.
I was surprised the whistle was late. I thought it was a foul. Boy, I'll tell you this. Carter's feet are fast. Yeah. He decides to make a ball side cut. That kid gets there quick.
Pretty good burst. Wendell Carter and Mo Wagner both wearing microphones for us tonight, Boris. That should be fun.
Yeah. Look how smooth this shot is, Mark. Yesterday, it looked like the game came so easy to Wendell Carter Jr.
Sure did at Duke. He averaged 14 points, 9 rebounds, and 41% on his threes. Here's a guy that knows how to shoot threes. Comes up short, though. Mikhailuk out of Kansas. Signed with Bill Self, who we had on yesterday as a 16-year-old out of Ukraine. Caruso behind the Wagner screen. A little pick and pop. Chicago with the board. Blakeney rising up. Good defense by Wagner. And here's Caruso coming back the other way. Hart swings it around to Mikhailuk. And that's the usual result. Knocks down his first 3, Doris.
It's just a fluidity to what this guy does. Just he can find open spots on the floor, understands how to play, good feel. And can he shoot it, Mark?
Well, the Lakers could use a little shooting around LeBron James. Blakeney came up short, out of bounds. It'll be Lakers basketball. Wagner started it at the defensive end.
Well, I'll tell you, he's going to play a little bit of defense. He's going to try to come over and challenge. Does a really nice job contesting that shot. I think he's got a little, it looks like he's got a little blood under his nose.
Took a shot in the mouth from Carter on that reverse layup. Mikhailuk went over the fallen Arcidiacono. And Mikhailuk will go to the foul line.
This is what I'm saying, Mark. He does more than shoot it. Mikhailuk, he can do that, put it on the deck.
He cut his teeth in basketball very early. Our friend Frashilla telling me the story about when he played internationally for the Ukraine national team as a teenager. He was competing against guys like Kevin Durant and USA basketball using the big guns.
Correct.
That kind of experience goes a long way.
He also played against Bagley, and in some instances, because of the way they were playing, got matched up. And the kid, he's not backing down from anybody. He's got no fear.
Nice move inside, but no finish that time by Chandler Hutchinson. Hutchinson, an interesting prospect. Good block by Carter. Wagner got it back and missed. Mikhailuk now 1 for 3 from downtown. Arcidiacono coming up for the Bulls. Carter hacked on the play.
Let's watch Carter again. I'm talking about his fast feet on the offensive end. Watch him invade the space of Wagner, who really does a nice job. He's thinking he's going to get a little separation. He gets nothing from Wendell Carter Jr.
Wow. Continuing his trend of blocked shots going back to last night. He had that one block against Ante Zizic with 2 hands. He just swallowed it.
That was as impressive a block as I've seen. Zizic is a big guy.
7 feet. Guy that had an opportunity to attend Harvard University. His mom and dad, Wendell Sr., a former basketball player at Delta State. His mom hooped at the University of Mississippi. They stressed books as well as basketball. His final choice is coming down to Duke or Harvard, and Caruso taking the Bulls to school on that 3.
Good job by Wagner too, though, Mark. He gets a paint touch and immediately feels all the bodies and just kicks it.
Arcidiacono corrals the ball. Hutchison, nice feed cross court to Ingram. And it's Los Angeles basketball.
Well, you talk about getting paint touches and how valuable it can be in an offense. So, little pick and roll game with Hart and Wagner. He sees the 4 white jerseys. He's like, okay, where's my shooter? Nice pitch.
Good look by the big fella. Chicago, meanwhile, off to an 0 for 6 start from the field. Hart gives it back to Caruso. Nice ball fake by Wagner. And he knocks down the mid-range jump shot. He went to the University of Michigan, led them to the Final Four, had a great tournament, and that obviously caught the eye of another University of Michigan alumnus, Rob Pelinka, former player there, and now, interestingly enough, the GM for the Lakers.
Coverage of MGM Resorts NBA Summer League 2018 is brought to you by the makers of Aleve Back and Muscle Pain. All day strong, all day long. And T-Mobile, America's most loved wireless brand. Join the Un-carrier today.
Lakers off to a good start, leading 11-3. Mark Jones chopping it up in the desert here with Doris Burke and Cassidy Hubbard.
I got to say, I love Mo Wagner's game.
Yes.
He stands 6'11", 245, sweet shooter, good decision maker, competes defensively as he gets in a passing lane again.
Mikhailuk, who also played in the Final Four, not just Wagner. I neglected to mention that a little bit earlier. Here he is off the bounce. Nice find inside. Williams with the corner 3, and Blakeney clears. Chicago Bulls were 27-55 last year as Blakeney crashes to the court. The franchise's lowest win total, Doris, for the first time since finishing last in the Central, going back to 2004 when they were 23-59. Think about where they were a year ago at this time. They had just traded their then franchise player, Jimmy Butler, to the Minnesota Timberwolves, got back Zach LaVine.
Yeah, I don't see. Is he in the house tonight? He promised he'd come on the air with us. He better not be ducking us.
He doesn't. Nobody breaks promises to Doris Burke. That's a curse. As Hart comes down with the board. The Bulls officially matching the Kings offer. And Caruso shooting the ball well here in the early going. He's got 8 points.
Oh, just make open shots. He's been wide open twice. And as you said, he's got size. He'll battle defensively. He's really smart.
Tough shot across his body for number 15, Chandler Hutchison, out of Boise State, a 4-year player. And when we were speaking with Randy Brown yesterday, he had a great observation. He was very cautious in using this player to compare him to, but he said there's a little bit of Scottie Pippen flavor to Hutchison, Doris.
Especially in the open floor. And when he gets to the cup and he's stretching out, trying to get past defenders. And he used the comparison lightly before people lose their mind over it.
Darnell Stokes from the outside. Here's Hart. Caruso with the mismatch now on Carter. Wagner with a huge height advantage. Let's see if he's got a back down game. What do you make of that shot, Doris? Did he settle that time as Hart knocks down the three?
I think he could have probably used a little back down dribble, gotten himself into the post, right? Everybody else had vacated the area. He wanted to show his Dirk game, though, clearly.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about that a little bit, Doris, because there's such a trend of bigs shooting perimeter jump shots, stretch fours, quote unquote.
Yeah.
What's happened to bigs being able to take advantage of a guy who's 9 inches shorter, back him down and punish him that way? Are bigs losing that skill?
I don't know. You know, I don't know if Kevin Garnett and Dirk made that stretch for what these guys wanted to become. I will say this, though, and this is something that Greg Popovich and I had talked about in the regular season, is that, okay, so
Jumper good by Williams.
without Kawhi Leonard, right, they played through LaMarcus Aldridge in the post, and we've cleaned up the perimeter game in the NBA. We've made it easier for guards to get by, can't hold defensively. Obviously, things changed slightly in the playoffs. I do think the league should look at that post play and the physicality of it, because Joel Embiid had the most post touches, direct post touches and post ups in the NBA.
Right.
We're going to cover it more on the other side.
Wow.
But we want to see those guys work down there, to your point.
Love me some low post play. Back after this. Well, size was the flavor of the recent NBA draft. A lot of talented bigs. Look at them. 6'10", 7 foot, 6'11", 6'11", and 7 foot. The last time that happened with that kind of preponderance was 2001. Gasol, Curry, Chandler, Kwame Brown, and Eddie Griffin.
And Chicago fans are shaking their heads at us saying, hey, our man Wendell is working out better than those two guys on the right-hand side of that graphic, Eddie Curry and Eddie Griffin.
And Tyson Chandler, him and Curry both came straight out of high school, if you remember. Williams with under 3 minutes to go in the first. Darnell Stokes with the dribble handoff. Arcidiacono with a slick spin move in the paint and knocks it down. It's a little Villanova flavor for you tonight. Played in the national championship game a few years ago and won it. Xavier Ratton-Mays, other Florida State guy on the court tonight. 7 on the shot clock out front. Ratton-Mays. Little machine gun dribble, jumper no good. Out of bounds, it'll be Los Angeles basketball.
I think they're going to get Arcidiacono, who was outsized. They're going to get him on a weak side checkout foul. He'll check out of the game. Nope, he'll come right back in.
He'll stay in along with Melo Trimble.
He found himself matched up against Ayers, but Arcidiacono is not shying away from anybody.
Yeah, we saw him commit some very physical fouls last night. Out front, Ratton-Mays working against Melo Trimble. Ratton-Mays played some games with Memphis last year, got to the bucket. Looks like he got hit, no call, and back the other way comes Chicago. In transition, Melo Trimble. The floater, nothing but net.
Well, he didn't necessarily look like he was certain what he was doing until he finally shot it.
Off the Josh Hart miss. Here comes Chicago again, down by 5. Nice pass by Arcidiacono. Darnell Stokes couldn't cash in. Ratton-Mays left wide open. And that's going to be a foul. Pardon me.
Let's watch
a violation against Isaac Bonga.
Sorry about that, Mark. Let's watch Arcidiacono run this transition opportunity. And then he gets tangled up. Watch him on the weak side. He's trying to check out Ayers. This is absolutely a foul on him. Ayers just touches him off. But this kid is unafraid and very competitive.
Stokes. Good ball movement by the Bulls. Trimble out front. Got a mismatch here. Good defense by Rattan Mays, but commits the foul. As Sean Long will go to the free throw line. Doris, we never finished that conversation about bigs. We saw the graphic. The preponderance of big men in this year's draft wasn't matched until going back to 2001, I believe it was, on the graphic. The last time it happened to that extent. What do you make of big guys who we saw Mo Wagner settle? What's happening to the back to the basket game for bigs in this league?
Well, I think it's obviously become a situation where you need your 4s and 5s to be able to spread the floor. The game has spread out. It's gotten smaller. And I just think there's an appeal to for big men to be skilled. And, you know, I remember asking our colleague Fran Fraschilla this question. And we know Franny does such an incredible job, you know, historically talking about the European players. And I was asking Franny, are the Europeans teaching the game better than we are? Because it feels like guys who are coming from other countries are 3-tool players and, you know, skilled in multiple things. And he said, no, he believes, and I've pushed hard for this, that what's the advantage of some of the Europeans in the formative years, Mark, is that they're playing under duress of a shot clock earlier.
Decision making. That's
right, because if you're playing under duress of a shot clock, you better be able to dribble it, pass it, shoot it.
Yeah.
And I think there should be more of a push I mean, there's states that don't play with the shot clock.
Yeah.
We've got to get that into the formative stages of our.
They don't have one in my home state of Florida. We need a shot clock in high school basketball.
Correct.
That's the beginning. Rattan Mays missed that one badly, and there's about a 6-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. I think Fran's take, as you related it, is right on point. I think European players are extremely skilled coming over, but the proof is in the pudding when you look at USA basketball and the results over the last 4 Olympics and World Championships. The margins of victory are in the 30s.
Yes, correct.
So for those of you that think the gap is closing, consider some of the data.
There's the top 10 big men in this year's draft. And really, I am impressed with all of them. They all have work to do. They all have strengths and weaknesses, as you could expect. The Summer League, we've seen up and down performances. For me, though, this guy has been the most impressive.
Mom played at Ole Miss. Dad played at Delta State. Number 3 ranked prospect in the ESPN 100 by Paul Biancardi and his great crew. Dad's 6'6", Mom is 6'5". Foul out front. 6.8 seconds to go. You know, we've got a chance to listen to Miles Simon, who does a fantastic job.
Tremendous.
In that huddle. He's the Lakers' assistant coach during the regular season, Summer League head coach right now. He has this team prepared. They've got a bunch of sets in. Rattan Mays got to the bucket and draws the foul.
Really could not be more impressed with Miles Simon. It's a guy who works with Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart.
That's why those young guys on the Lakers roster this year did so well. It was not uncommon to see them working out late after practice or early in the morning at their practice facility in El Segundo. And Miles Simon with Ball, as you mentioned, Kuzma. It's going to be interesting to see how the dynamic changes this year, if at all, Doris, with LeBron James wearing number 23. They've already got some murals painted on the walls in parts of Los Angeles.
There's also some damage to one of those murals.
What makes a person do that?
I have no idea.
End of the first quarter, the Lakers leading by 3. 10 minutes in the books. We'll be right back after this. It's pronounced Wendell. And get to know the name, folks, because the way that he started here in July shows that he's going to be around for a while. Wendell Carter off to a pretty good start here tonight for the Chicago Bulls.
He told Cassidy Hellberth in an interview prior to the game, you know, Cassidy was talking about the block shots, and he said, I flat don't like people scoring on me. I mean, look, you like that mentality, Mark.
Prideful. Blakeney got ripped by Rattan Mays out of bounds. And it'll be Lakers basketball. Good hustle that time by Isaac Bonga. Bonga, the big man from Germany. So the Lakers Summer League roster featuring a couple Germans. Mo Wagner and Mo Wagner's from Berlin. And another 3-ball, a little bit strong. Isaac Bonga, also from Germany, the 39th pick in the draft. Here's Ingram. That lefty jumper was wet. And it's tied at 18. Doris, what do you make of the moves that have been made so far around LeBron James since the fact that he announced he was going to be joining the Lakers? What would you say? How would you characterize the moves?
Well, it's a drastic difference for the Lakers in terms of philosophy from what we saw in Cleveland, where it was LeBron and trying to get 4 shooters around him. Sometimes Tristan Thompson, obviously, as an offensive rebounder, screener. Totally different. You know, LeBron talked about having intellect around him. You got Lance Stevenson. And how about that report today that Lance called LeBron's people to say, hey, is this okay? And you know, just an interesting supposition.
Yeah, no doubt.
They were antagonists there for a couple of years. Remember when Indiana, Cleveland were going at it in the Eastern Conference Finals? These are the other acquisitions. Yeah, Rajon Rondo, JaVale McGee.
And Tavius Caldwell-Pope, who shares an agent, Rich Paul, with LeBron James.
It's going to be an illegal screen, I believe, on Wendell.
You know, the one thing that it really underscores now is that the fulcrum of power and influence when it comes to, hey, Zach LaVine just showed up. He walking behind us. Zach, you going to join us later? Okay. It rests in the players' hands. The players have a lot of clout when it comes to deciding where they want to be and who they want to play with.
Correct.
Something that doesn't quite exist in other professional sports leagues to the same degree. And I think it's a great thing, if you're asking. Here's Blakeney on the wing, on the blow-by. Missed with the left hand. Team's getting up and down a little bit. Rattan Mays, nice feed to Bonga. Boy, how did that get through? Great dime by Xavier Rattan Mays out of Florida State. Played with the Westchester Knicks last year. Had 3 triple-doubles and 16 double-doubles. Blakeney took out his do-it-yourself kit and a little bit out of control. Ingram. Boy, it's rough underneath, and Carter draws the foul. We were talking about the mural that was painted of LeBron James, and somebody had the temerity and the lunacy to deface it.
Correct. It's disrespectful to 2 people. First of all, I love the mural. The artwork is incredible. We're talking about the king. We're talking about a generational type player. And the 3-6 is obviously a reference to LeBron's record in the finals. The guy has been the baddest man on the planet for over a decade.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. They got to put the word out on the street and find that guy. Fix that. That's just not right. As Carter will go back to the free throw line. First started playing basketball in his local church league at the age of 4. And it's interesting, Doris, some of the comparisons that I've heard, Al Horford at one end, Elton Brand at the other end. Your thoughts?
Well, Al Horford has been the consummate professional from the moment he stepped into the NBA. He's been communicative on the defensive end. You think about what the Boston Celtics count on him to do. And Elton Brand before the injuries, and even in the aftermath of the injuries, I remember Doug Collins talking about how much he loved Elton Brand as a teammate, well, he was coaching him, but what he brought to an organization. So it's an interesting comparison. I don't necessarily love him, Mark. I'm anxious to watch Wendell develop.
Right.
I'm impressed with his fluidity of movement, his ability to be switchable, to close and help situations and be a shot blocker.
And you talked about it yesterday, the fact that Bagley decided to reclassify and got to Duke later, and the expectation was that Carter would be the main guy, and he really subordinated his role and did it willingly, and still was very productive and was a great teammate at Duke.
You touched on
Blakeney gets the bucket.
Sorry, Mark. You touched on his numbers. It's almost 15 and 9. The guy could have been easily 25 and 15. But you play alongside Bagley, who is himself an extraordinary talent.
Mays to Malik Newman, the two-way contract player for the Lakers. Bonga tried to keep it alive. Here's Blakeney. Isaac Bonga running down the loose ball. Los Angeles has missed 10 and now 11 of its last 12 shots, according to our stat man Steve LeBeau. Nice pocket pass to Carter, and he's fouled by Wagner. Well, Summer League action continues tomorrow in Las Vegas, NBA TV and the ESPN app. A slate of games: Toronto, OKC, Washington, Philly, Golden State, Dallas, Orlando, Phoenix, and the Clippers taking on the Houston Rockets. I'm guessing that their Summer League edition will shoot about 46 three-pointers a game too, right, Doris? That's the way it works.
That'd be a fun system to play in, for sure.
Continuity of philosophy.
You know, I remember talking to Chris Paul in an interview around one of our games, and he was talking about how much he enjoyed playing for Mike D'Antoni, and he flat said, "I told Coach, where he goes, I go."
Wow.
Yeah.
Chris Paul re-signing with the Houston Rockets as a free agent. Yeah, we had Memphis in our earlier game tonight, and we were talking about the contract situation of that team and the different moves that they've made. You know, I'm encouraged by news that Chandler Parsons, who's been injured a little bit the last couple of years, he said that this is as healthy as he's been in the last 3 years. He's full on court right now, strong as ever, and he will be a full go in camp as King missed the layup. That's good news for the Grizzlies, because I have a sneaky feeling with some of the guys they've got, they're not that far off. And Parsons, when healthy, is a very, very talented player. And J.B. Bickerstaff has a little bit of history with him. They go back a ways to their time in Houston, and he's got support there. A whistle and a foul. Timeout on the floor. When we come back, we'll have the brain trust of the Bulls, Fred Hoiberg, the head coach, with us at the table. Stick around. Chicago Bulls leading by 2 with 5:34 to go in the first half. A look at the Bulls roster as it stands right now. Well set in the backcourt. Zach LaVine, the big news, re-signed. The offer sheet by Sacramento matched by the Bulls front office. Lauri Markkanen was all rookie, and Bobby Portis really came on this year into his own. And Fred Hoiberg, the head coach, joining us right now. Coach, thanks for joining us. Wendell Carter, what do you make of what he's shown you so far?
Well, he's been excellent, Mark, ever since we started our mini camp a couple days ago. We had 3 really good days of practice, and you could tell right when he got there just the type of intensity that he plays with, willing to do whatever it takes to help a teammate. He does it on both ends. He's playing against 2 really good players in the camp that have had NBA experience with Stokes and Long, so that was a good situation for him to come in and play against those players, and then to play against Zizic, another guy that's established in the league right away. And he doesn't back down from anybody, and I think we saw that last night with with the with the block shots. The one he had coming from behind was unbelievable, pinning it against the block, the glass right there.
That thing up,
Swallowed it up, and then, he just showed right there he's very comfortable with his left hand, and he's a 19-year-old kid that's 6'11" with a 7'4.5" wingspan. So we're excited about him.
I cannot get over the savvy. Yesterday he's setting screens, his hands are up in pick and roll situations. The fact that he can make a three, I mean, how valuable for you and your system. What most excites you about this young man?
I just think his versatility. I think he's a modern-day big, just with the way he can go out on the floor, and he hit those 2 corner threes. He makes good passes. He's good in the pocket, which is such an important skill in today's game, to be able to make the pocket pad, the extra pass in the pocket. So he just shows a lot of versatility. And again, with his ability to score with both the right hand, left hand on the block, he can run. He's got good athleticism. We're really excited about him for a prospect.
How does he fit in with Lopez and Markkanen and Bobby Portis?
I think he fits very well with those guys. And, again, the rotation that we can play with, start with Markkanen, just what he did as a rookie in this league. And, he got over late last year after playing in the Eurobasket over in his home country in Finland, and how well he played in that. And then we just saw him grow as we went on. And what he did, at the end of the season, he was playing about 20 minutes a game and averaging about 22 points in that stretch in the last 10.
Did he surprise your entire organization with how fast it happened?
He did. And, again, the thing with Lowry that he showed right away, he's got toughness, he's got ball skills. Obviously, he stretches the floor. That's what everybody knew about him when he came out of Arizona. But he does so much more than that. He guards. He's got great athleticism pop. He had an unbelievable dunk in the Garden after hitting 8 threes. And, he's just a kid that he gets it. He's got great swagger he plays with, and again, I think Wendell fits very well with Lowry. And then Bobby Portis, what he did last year, coming out and had a career season. There's that pursuit. We love that.
Another one
coming from behind.
A big smile on Fred's face here. It's great.
You notice he stopped for the defensive play, but not for the offensive play, right?
Yeah, and Bobby, he had such a good season last year. He really added to his game, shot the ball from 3 very consistently. And then Robin, he's such a stabilizing force and a great guy to be a mentor to Wendell here as he starts his career.
I mentioned the big news is that Zach LaVine is back in the fold. He played the last few games on a minutes type of restriction. We're going to talk about where he is and where he might be on the back end of this commercial.
We're not letting him leave, don't worry.
We're coming with the heavy stuff, Coach. Back at the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas, Zach LaVine recently back in the fold with the Chicago Bulls as the Bulls match the offer sheet. And boy, what a great piece that will be moving forward with Chicago. When you look at some of the other young talent already on the roster, people forget Zach LaVine, Coach Hoiberg, is what, 23 years old.
Yeah, 23 years old. He's, he absolutely fits how we want to play. He's as athletic as any player in the league. Really gets up and down the floor. He can shoot it from anywhere. The hard thing with Zach last year, when you go into a season, especially when you're coming into a new situation, is he didn't really have a summer. It was all about rehabbing his knee and getting himself ready physically. And, most of his reps when he was getting ready to come back to our active roster were with our G League team. So, it was tough. And when he came back, we were playing our best stretch of basketball, and he comes back the first 2. We beat Detroit, and we beat Miami, and we're on a 14-7 streak, and then Chris Dunn goes down the next game against Golden State and has a concussion's out for 6 weeks. So that changed everybody's roles, and we really just never got a true feel for what that team would have looked like. Right. So we're all excited about Zach.
Is he 100% from the start of training camp?
Absolutely, he's 100% healthy, and he feels great. He's been working his butt off, and I know he's excited to get going with his teammates.
What do you ask of Chris Dunn going away from the season? What was his mandate for the offseason?
Well, Chris, he had really good stretches, and when we had that 14-7 stretch in December and January, he was as important a part as anybody, and was playing as well as any point guard in the Eastern Conference during that stretch.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to tee you up on my Providence College man.
I know. He's, we just Chris just needs to continue to grow, and he practiced actually with our guys in that mini camp, and he looked excellent. He's was blowing things up defensively, and that's what he's got to be. It's got to be defense first for him. Right. We feel he can be as good as any guard defensively in the league. Just continue to grow offensively, which again he showed a lot of promise in that area last year.
He's so long. He's got incredible speed, and you're right. I think defensively he can be a monster.
One of the guys on the floor right now is Antonio Blakeney. He was the G League Rookie of the Year and on cue with the 3-ball. Where does he fit? Is there an opportunity for him moving forward?
Yeah, Antonio, he's a guy that can, against switches, he can get to the basket. He's a guy that can shoot it from deep, and he showed flashes of that last year. And he had a really good rookie season, we felt, and it was unfortunate he broke his wrist right at the end of the season when he was really getting a good opportunity to play a lot of minutes. So Antonio, again, he's athletic. He's a dynamic player in the open court. He's a guy last night, he scored 20 points in the first half, and that's what he does. He's a guy who can go out and get a bucket really when you need it.
Fred, in the big picture, LeBron James, Cleveland Cavaliers have been to the NBA Finals, won the East. Last 4 years, a seismic shift with him going out to the Western Conference. Your thought on just generally free agency and what's left in the wake of that?
Yeah, it's crazy times, obviously, with everything going on, and then with the signings at Golden State as recently, what they've added to their roster. It's going to provide a lot of fun basketball, and I think it's good for the league to get LeBron out in LA, and
it's good for the East.
It's great for the East. We love it. Yeah.
All right, we're going to give it because we're rounding down here. Tell us about your sons.
Well, my twins, as we were talking off the air, they're over in Scotland right now, actually playing in a golf tournament. And one of them they got off the plane, went out to play St. Andrews, and he fired a 73.
At St. Andrews?
You didn't say it was St. Andrews.
It was St.
Really?
Andrews, yeah.
Oh, wow.
They did not get that from Dad.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, Fred, thanks a lot for joining us, man.
To see you.
Good to see that things seem to be moving in the right direction. You got Levine back, and guys are getting healthy, and we love coming to Chicago, just for the record. Carter with another block.
One more. Yes. Oh. Well, it's always great seeing you guys.
Before we let you go, you got to talk us through these blocks and what you see.
All right, let's get a replay here. Okay, that was not our best moment. That's what he does. He just, to use that length, he really, the art of verticality, that's something that, takes time to understand. And obviously he was taught as well as anybody playing for Coach K at Duke. But he has really mastered that at a young age and uses that verticality, uses his wingspan. He doesn't foul. One thing in studying Wendell and watching film on him, he keeps the blocks in play. He doesn't throw it into the third row. He keeps it in play so you can start your break. And again, his ability to pursue, we're experimenting with things defensively right now. And when he switches and pursues for the block, he really can close quickly with his speed.
I just said, his feet are so fast. His ability to close space, he did it on Wagner earlier. And you know what he told Cassidy Hubbard? She's asked him about his blocks. He just said, I don't like people to score on me.
Right.
I mean, I love that kind of individual defensive pride.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's a tough kid. He plays with a chip on his shoulder, and it's been fun to get to know him here early in these stages. And he's got a chance to be special.
2 on the shot clock. They got to get this off in a hurry. Fred, thanks a lot for joining us. That's the end of the first half.
All right, thank you, guys.
Great to see you
down the road. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
First 20 minutes in the books. Fred Hoiberg, head coach of the Chicago Bulls. We're going to take a break and stick around for halftime. Doris Burke will have a nice little walk and talk with Wendell Carter Jr.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. Halftime here with the Lakers up 35-29 on the Chicago Bulls. Josh Hart leading all scorers with 16 points, continuing what has been just a stellar outing here in Vegas. 4-5 from 3, and the GOAT, Doris Burke, caught up with the second-year guard for the Lakers.
We're here with second-year guard Josh Hart of the Los Angeles Lakers. So I have to know, obviously, where were you when you heard the LeBron James news, and what was your first reaction?
Yeah, so I was in Sacramento for Summer League. It was probably like 3 or 4 o'clock. And my brother calls me, and he's like, "Did you see? See what?" He was like, "You got him." Like, "You got who?" And he was like, "Go on Twitter," and I just went on Twitter.
You didn't hear it? Like, you didn't expect it?
I had no idea. I mean, obviously everyone had their own opinions of where he was going to go and that, and I just went on Twitter, and I was just like, wow, this is
You get to play with the king.
Yeah, I mean, you get to play with the greatest player in the world. I mean, and that's always a dream, no matter how old you are. Excited, bring that buzz back to Staples, and we're just very antsy to kind of get it started.
You guys have a young core. You're clearly very close. You, Kyle, Alonzo. Tell me about that group, what you believe you can be in this league.
I think that we can be a force to be reckoned with. I think last year we got hurt. I think all of us kind of missed times. I think Kuz played the most, but I think he still missed a couple games. But I think we can be, a great core, and I think that's the biggest thing. We're talented, we're tough, and we're gritty, and we keep wanting to improve. We want each other to get better, and when you have core guys like that want to have that culture, that breeds success.
Your first game in Summer League, it was pretty good. In terms of all those things, what did you think of what you did?
I thought it was pretty good. I felt good with kind of the outcome about it. I think there were certain places I can get better at, just with my handle, using some of the ball screens a little bit better and sending my guy up. But all in all, to kind of get back out here after missing a couple of games of sack, I was happy. We got a win. It was our first win this summer. So you can always nitpick, but we got a win and it felt good.
You add Mo Wagner, he's going to be pretty good. You sport this All-Star jersey pretty good, Josh Hart.
Thank you.
Maybe one day we're going to see this guy. Second-year player, made a huge jump. Josh, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone, to the MGM Resorts Summer League from Las Vegas. 35-29 at the break. Fans in town here from all parts, and you got to be rolling with the right kind of T-shirt.
I blame Drake.
That's where it all started, right?
That's right.
I hope you're getting a cut of those,
Unfortunately,
because you should be.
No.
Get the patent. I'll get to work on that. Mark Jones, Doris Burke, Cassidy Hubbard joining us in just a bit. Doris, interesting first half, and as expected, a guy who's in his second year with the Los Angeles Lakers, Josh Hart, did a lot of the good heavy lifting at the offensive end. 16 points for him.
Cassidy asked him what the expectations of Kuzma and Ball were, and he said, it doesn't even need to be said I should be the MVP. He's a second year. He's commanding the floor. He's making his open shots. He's making good decisions. Hit pick and roll. He's frankly doing everything that the Lakers coaching staff asked him to do, Mark. 2 games, 2 solid performances.
Guy that came in out of Villanova ready to contribute right away. His game translating. Wendell Carter, meanwhile, with 9 points on the other side of the ledger for the Chicago Bulls. And Carter, once again, doing great work at the defensive end. Randy Brown, the Summer League head coach for the Chicago Bulls, the Chicago native.
I love Randy Brown. Yeah. He said, everybody can't be a lottery pick. That man carved himself out quite a career as a second-round pick. 31st overall. Randy Brown knows a thing or two about how to make an NBA roster and become an NBA champion.
Interesting how he, like a lot of second-rounders, remembers the teams that said they'd take him and then passed on him.
How about this? His draft year, he was told by the teams picking 16th and 17th that he was going to go. Yeah. And those picks come and go, and he doesn't go until the second round. And thank goodness he was not on location at the draft.
Yeah. Might have been some furniture moving.
You would have caught a little profanity.
That's like Draymond Green can tell you all 30-odd teams that passed on him in the correct order. Josh Hart. Nice little step back. And Hutchison, the other first-round pick, the less acclaimed one, brings it up court for the Bulls. Arcidiacono. Carter posting up on the smaller Caruso, and now Lakers able to switch back. Arcidiacono knocks down the 3. That's a good-looking J.
Oh, sure is. At his size, you got to be able to get a little separation. Everybody seems to be putting this in their arsenal, right? We used to talk about small guards and the floater. That little side step and how far you go with the side step gets you all the space necessary.
You know, when I first started noticing that move was Kyrie Irving's game winner against Steph Curry.
Really?
It became a little bit more pronounced, I think, because it was such an iconic shot. And a big-time dunk by Mo Wagner.
Josh Hart with the assist.
Playmaking skills on display. Wagner with 5 in the ball game. Make that 4. 5-point lead for the Lakers. Blakeney, boy, nice burst, but he couldn't finish. Josh Hart. Out of bounds, it'll be Los Angeles basketball.
Well, Wagner's going to get the highlight on SportsCenter, but the pass was pretty. Just a little pocket pass, pick and roll, right between the defenders. Just perfection.
Now, you mentioned it earlier, Wagner from Germany said he was trying to get his Dirk on. There's got to be a Dirk Nowitzki story there somewhere between the two of them. I just haven't found out about it yet. Big time rebound almost by Williams. Still a 5-point game. Hutchison left wide open and makes it a 2-point contest. That's the other first-round pick, Chandler Hutchison. 2-time first-team All-Mountain West Conference. Also a member of the conference All-Defensive team. He's got 5 tonight. Caruso with 5 to go on the clock. Mihalik. That time doing work from inside. He's got 8.
How much off the ball do you think LeBron plays for the Lakers this year, Mark?
Man, I'm waiting to see who's going to be on the roster when training camp opens.
So you like some others believe there's more to come here.
It's strange to look at the way it's configured right now, but if it is, I think probably a little less than what he did last year in terms of ball handling. Well, Summer League action continues tomorrow in Las Vegas, ESPNU, ESPN2, and the ESPN app. New Orleans, Detroit, Milwaukee, Denver, Brooklyn, Minnesota, Indiana, Cleveland, and Charlotte against Boston. And speaking of teams in the Eastern Conference, got the Bulls here tonight. The Detroit Pistons with a brand new coach, Dwayne Casey, the reigning coach of the year, taking over the Pistons.
They were just working on Wendell Carter Jr. They've since stepped away. It almost looked like he might have been cramping a little bit the way they were working on him. No, they're still there.
Working on that inside of the knee area. We are in the desert. We got to hydrate pretty well. Caruso and Wagner, a 2-on-1 alley-oop. That's how you finish.
He likes playing. I like Wagner's reactions. Like he's coming up the floor. He's like, I just finished that big.
Yeah. Got his tongue wagging and everything.
Nice job by Caruso. And Caruso's got a chance. Big guard, smart, tough. Got to be really smart with his decisions. Just a 2-on-1 situation here. Look at him. Listen, if I did that, I'd probably be doing a lot more than that.
Gotta love that kind of enthusiasm. Lakers back up by 6. Blakeney with the mid-range jumper short. Blakeney's had a much tougher night shooting the basketball here, just 5 points. Mihalik. Well, he can put it on the deck too, Doris.
Yep, and the thing is, Mark, as well as you shot it last night, you're going to close into his chest. You're going to close to him closer than other players, and that's going to give him the kind of freedom to put it on the deck.
We had a great conversation with his collegiate head coach Bill Self last night here at the table with us. Self said that he had, 11 players here? That's a huge number of guys, but shouldn't be surprised considering the fact that he's won the Big 12 14 straight times. He's going to put some players in the league. Ingram back to Hutchison. Tough shot. Here's Caruso, fouled.
Lakers are up 8, and Mo Wagner is showing some skill. Not just as a pick and pop guy, he's got some hop. He's got a live body, little 2-on-1, and the edge, the emotion. 6 points, 9 boards. A little, yeah, I can play, man.
Okay. Mark Jones back courtside along with Doris Burke, joined by Zach LaVine, the newly signed Zach LaVine of the Chicago Bulls.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
You good to go, bro?
Appreciate you. No, I'm extremely happy, man. I'm so happy. It's all behind me now. But free agency's tough, man. It's a business. But I'm so happy to call Chicago home for another 4 years.
Was there ever an opportunity where you seriously considered Sacramento?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, it was business. I never wanted it to come to an offer sheet, but it did, and now you have to understand that. And I never in my mind didn't think Chicago would match it. I knew I was going to be a Bull.
Can I ask you, though, about the personal side of things? Because I know we always describe basketball as a business. And I get it. And Chicago had to wait and see, or that was the way they chose to go. Just putting aside Chicago, how hard is that for you, a young man, as your professional existence is, sort of playing out? It's playing out publicly.
Yeah.
Just give us a sense of what it's like being a professional athlete in that situation, Zach.
It's tough because you have to be professional. Even at a young age, you might have a lot of emotions going through it at the same time, and you have to understand things. And the main thing, I just let my agent deal with it, and most of it. And I sat back and
from one dunker to another.
I just sat back, man, and I just knew regardless of whatever happened, I'm gonna be prepared for next year. So I was working my butt off every day, and that's why during the offseason, I'm happy I was able to, coming off the injury, it's my first offseason, being able to work out again.
Right.
So it feels really good.
Right. Was there ever doubt, Zach, in terms of coming off an injury and going into a free agent year for you?
No, because I feel like I knew, where I was going to be at. Regardless, I had some really good games. I had some tough games, but you have to expect that coming off a 11-month injury. I was on minute restriction, a new team and everything like that. But regardless, I was happy. The way it was, I was just happy to get back and play in the basketball.
I bet.
So you're gonna be full speed come training camp?
I've been full speed since I came back. So yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Hey, we've talked a little bit. There are your numbers with Chicago 3 seasons prior. I want to talk a little bit about Wendell Carter Jr. just because the talk of the draft was these big guys, but to me, over the first couple of days of what I've seen, Wendell looks as prepared as anybody. What's your impression?
He's actually a lot more physically built than I thought he was. And I got up on him and Hutchison. They're both really long and athletic. Two of my two best friends are playing in Chicago's summer league team, so they're giving me insight back and forth. They're like, yeah, he's the real deal. So I'm extremely excited to get back playing with the guys, man, and taking Chicago back to that prestige franchise where they're supposed to be at.
Which one of those guys is going to be your rookie?
Man, I'm about the same age as all of them, man. So you guys forget I drafted like 18. So I think the NBA is moving away from that.
Nobody wearing the Dora backpack.
No one's doing it. I think the main thing that people don't do now is just bring the soap to the locker room, bring the deodorant, maybe take a plate of food to the bus. But it's not back like my vet was KG. It ain't nothing like that. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not sure those would be PG stories.
Yeah, I have to tell you guys off. It was fun though, man. That's my guy.
Yeah, he's been a great mentor to a lot of guys.
Oh no, he's the best.
Hey, listen, as you watched Lauri Markkanen play last year, did he surprise you with how fast he was able to show some things in the NBA?
I think the best thing that helped him was he was able to just get thrown into the fire.
Yeah.
He was pretty much the only power forward on the roster for a little bit. The incident that happened early in the season, and I feel like that helped him because he wasn't able to look over his shoulder and worry about if he made a mistake coming out. It gave him that confidence. Lauri's so skilled. He can shoot the ball. He's athletic, and people understand, man. He's really a dog in his own rights. It's a kid, coming from Finland. You might get that type of persona, that people already label him with. But he's not that way at all, man. He's a go-getter.
We mention him being from Finland. You're a Seattle area guy, right?
Yeah, Seattle.
What is it about Seattle, man? Like, Seattle really turns out some ballers, right? Like going back to Doug Christie, Nate Robinson, Jason Terry, Jamal Crawford.
Yep. IT's from there. Avery Bradley. I can go on for forever and ever. Terrence Williams. So. And it's maybe because it rains so much throughout the year.
Just gonna say,
we
you
have
gotta
to
be
in
indoors.
the gym. Yeah, so it was a hot day though.
You know, they let me in a few runs back at Green Lake Park back at the day.
You at the Green Lake? Oh man, that's crazy.
Don't be fooled by this, Zach.
You can take it off and get down.
Thanks for joining us.
No,
We so appreciate it. Good luck.
I'm happy. Thank you guys. I appreciate that.
Good luck this season, buddy.
Definitely.
All right, we'll be back right after this. Yeah.
Listen, we control we control our own destiny.
They jumped out on us early. We came back. All right, now let's play harder than them.
Our pace is unbelievable. When we get those stops, keep running and then keep downhill. Don't try to set up in transition.
Defensively, guard your guy, get in gaps. We get stops, we get out and run. All right, we'll play better. We got to play harder than them. All right, this is the challenge. All right, let's go.
Great insights inside the locker rooms of the respective teams. The Lakers, Miles Simon, the Bulls, Randy Brown.
It's just invaluable experience for those two guys. You look at a guy like Randy Brown, Miles Simon, like James Borrego gets a job. He's been sitting with Coach Pop for a while. Yeah. There was another wave of assistant coaches who finally get their opportunity after years paying their dues. It's just... Yeah. This summer league helps more than just these guys trying to make a roster or trying to make a European team.
Williams with the three, knocks it down. Chicago Bulls trying to mount a charge here, down by 10 points, 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Mark Jones courtside along with Doris Burke, Cassidy Hubbard.
You know my favorite thing Zach LaVine said when we're asking him about him having to wait and having to wait for Chicago to match the offer sheet of the Sacramento Kings. He basically said, I have to work, right? I'm going to be ready for the season. Like, I get it. They're under scrutiny. There's media attention. There's all kinds of things. Just go to work. Control what you can control. Be ready for the season.
I just thought it being, he played the last quarter of the season, still kind of in that questionable zone coming back from an injury, I think.
Right, you were talking about the minutes restriction. Yes.
And especially in light of the fact what we saw Boogie Cousins go through. Free agency can be an apprehensive period for a guy like that.
No question.
10-point lead. But Zach LaVine, and you talked about Chris Dunn with head coach Fred Hoiberg. Chris Dunn was playing some very good basketball for the Bulls before he got hurt.
You bet he did. He's a Friar, man.
Williams with the three. And the lead is down to 7. Trimble guarding Josh Hart. Little left hand in and out dribble. Jarnell Stokes with the block. And a chance now for the Bulls to get it down to 5. Williams has had the hot hand. Ayers with the board. Mays gets downhill. Got stripped.
Look at Diacono hit the deck.
He's done it a bunch of times tonight.
He's had 6 rebounds at one point. He was leading everybody on the floor. He's got 8 rebounds now. Guy's doing work.
Ball in the hands of Melo Trimble. Off the screen. Stokes went right through Ayers, put him in the weight room, and got the bucket. Jarnell Stokes out of Tennessee has been with the Heat, with the Grizzlies, been in the G League. An 8-0 Bulls run has them within 5. Hart with a nice little hesitation. Bonga with the putback. Four points for Isaac Bonga. I'm looking at Bonga, thinking about Dennis Schroeder, thinking about Dirk, and thinking about Mo Wagner. That's 4 guys for the German national team right there.
You think Dirk's still playing on the German national team?
He's already retired, but
he should coach it.
Time winding down in the third. 10 seconds to go. And they got a foul to give, and they're going to use it. Cassidy going to give us an update on Wendell Carter. What's up with him, Cass?
Yeah, Wendell just spent a few minutes with the Bulls training staff, and he got stretched out a bit. You can see he has that heating pack on his left knee, but the team says he is available to get back into the game, so keep you posted if anything changes.
All right, Cass. Carter with 9 points to go along with 4 rebounds, a couple of nice blocks, too. Hart. Boy, Josh Hart is built so solidly. He's got 17 points. He can take the hit and finish through contact. Remember at one point this year, there was a stretch of games where he and Arcidiacono are laughing about something here, Doris. And there was a stretch where he played a lot of 3, and when his rebound rate was up, and he joked about it saying, I'm just in the stretch of getting my Charles Barkley on right now.
Listen, this is why they love him. This guy can switch on to bigger guys. He'll put a knee into the back of somebody trying to post him up if he's got more size. He'll battle.
Blakeney, it'll count. And that's the end of the third quarter play. Lakers leading by 9.
Switched over from the east to the west, so the all-time comparison. Scoring list, Kobe still third, Michael is fourth, LeBron is sixth. That might shift eventually. Regular season MVPs, of course, Jordan leading the way with 5. And then the NBA titles, of course, Jordan with 6, Kobe with 5, LeBron with 3. How about this, though, Mark? Total career teammates, and we don't even count in the 142 the Lakers teammates because we don't know who is going to be there. So here's a little bit of NBA trivia that our producer came up with for you and I to answer. Can you name the 14 different players who have played with Kobe and LeBron at some point in their career? I mean, the easy one, right, is the trade which brought Larry Nance Jr.
Right, the recent one.
Okay, so that's 2. Larry Nance Jr. and Jordan Clarkson. There's 2 of 14, so we're down to 12. I guess Shaq. Shaq played.
That's right. He did a stint in Cleveland.
All right, so we're down to. So we got 3 of the 14. We need 11 more.
This is where the fun starts.
I want the viewers, please, viewers, start tweeting at. What are you at? Mark Jones.
Mark Jones, ESPN.
At Mark Jones, give us some help here.
Wow.
We need 11 more names.
You're going to hear dead silence here for a few minutes.
Okay, I got one.
Who?
Carlos Boozer played with both.
Wow, that's right.
Right, so that's 4 of the 14. We're down to 10. It's got to be another big man. Just think big. So Shaq played with both of them. That's one of the 4 we've got.
Thinking about Kobe's championships.
I got one.
Ooh.
I'm cooking right now. I'm absolutely cooking. Ronny Turiaf. Ronny Turiaf played with LeBron. That's 5
That's right. That's right. Antoine Jameson.
Good one. That's
Antoine
we got
Jameson.
6. We got 6 now. Antoine Jameson.
Antoine
Good, Mark. Look at people are tweeting at you. Your phone is blowing up.
Okay, I'm going to cheat. Oh, okay. Oh, Earl Clark.
I don't think Earl Clark's on there.
Luke Walton.
Kobe Carl.
Wow, that's going deep in the bag.
People are blowing up Mark Jones' phone right now. See,
Luke
I'm not. There's no Luke Walton on that list. So you got to be careful with believing people on Twitter, Mark.
Right. Never do. Shannon Brown.
There you go. That's a good one.
Shannon Brown.
Ira Newble.
Wow. I remember him in Cleveland, not quite as much in LA. He counts? He's a winner? There's no Smush Parker in there, is there?
No Smush.
Okay.
Do you remember Trey Johnson?
Whoa. No, I don't. I'm not even going to front. I do not remember that.
You
one.
remember Chris Mim?
Yes.
Jason Capono.
Okay. Should've had that
Jelani
one.
McCoy.
Wow.
Erstwhile
UCLA days.
That's right.
Jelani McCoy.
What former #1 overall pick played with both? You clearly can tell I cheated now. I tried to
They're
pretend.
coming too quick.
The one former #1 overall pick. He did not pan out. Played with both.
#1.
Yep.
Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown was in LA. Oh, he didn't play with LeBron. Joe Smith. Joe Smith.
Joe Smith is one. And Chris Mims.
Chris Mims.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
We got to give
14,
a shout out
huh?
to our graphics producer, Stacy, because I think she came up with that one. That's pretty good.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Ty Lue wasn't one, right?
No.
See, because LeBron and Walton, which I thought earlier, were actually drafted the same year. Joe Smith, Jordan Clarkson. Okay, those are the recent guys. Shannon Brown, I remember. Shaq was an easy one. The one off the real Kobe Carl, Trey Johnson. Those two were really off the radar for me.
Very hard.
And speaking of Kobe Carl,
on the Laker bench.
Yeah. See, the wood's still burning now.
Yes, I hear you.
Gone dark.
And you are amongst the people I know watch the most basketball at every level. So I know. Yeah. Listen, we were back in the trailer pregame. I'm like, I was struggling to come up with them.
That's a hard one. Jason Capono, I'm disappointed I didn't come up with that one.
I bet you our friend Kim Belton would have known some of that list.
Yeah.
Let's watch Wendell Carter Jr. I think Kobe and LeBron could have appreciated this.
Wow.
This one he decided not to keep in play, Coach Hoiberg.
Nice catch by the Bulls bench. Third of the game for Wendell Carter. The lead is 9 for the Los Angeles Lakers. I want to give a shout out to my Twitter followers for all the love and
boy, they are blowing up your phone right now.
Ian Clark, not Ian Clark, Earl Clark was one of the names. Kwame Brown. 10-point game, now up to an 11-point margin. Here's Hutchison. Their first-round pick. Sweet-looking crossover and lefty finish.
That wasn't easy. Bonga really has got great length, good feet. He did a nice job staying between he and the basket. That's just a nice play by Hutchinson.
He's got 7 points and 7 rebounds. Raton Mays on the probe. Had it knocked out of bounds. It's going to stay Lakers basketball. WNBA All-Star voting presented by Verizon is live. Vote for up to 10 players every day at WNBA.com/vote or the WNBA app or via Twitter using the hashtag WNBA vote. Vote now and you could win a trip to the game in Minneapolis on July the 28th. Here's Melo Trimble. That's going to be a foul against Raton Mays.
Asia Wilson having a Rookie of the Year campaign here in Las Vegas, and the Aces down in the Statue of Liberty. I like it.
Right now the Aces in 9th place.
I reversed that. It's been a long day. Statue of Liberty is donning the Aces jersey. She changed clothes after the Golden Knights. And what a remarkable story they were.
Yeah, Lady Liberty could hoop a little bit. Lead is down to 7, courtesy of Melo Trimble. Isaac Bonga, the ball handler here. Bonga with a nice spin move. Carter couldn't get it. And the follow is good.
That's why you always trail the driver, right? King does a nice job. Doesn't count that the basket's going to be made.
Good extra pass. Hutchison cut off on the baseline. Great defense by Raton Mays. Under 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Lakers trying to hang on. Trimble got it. Mellow fellow with a nice looking floater. He's got 6. The intensity picking up here a little bit in the final minutes of the game. Here's Malik Newman out of Kansas. He was signed to a 2-way deal. Newman inside. Carter says no way. Wagner. And Carter with a man-sized rebound. Archie Diacono hit the deck hard. Trimble found nobody. Frantic action out on the court with 5:11 to go.
Coverage of MGM Resorts NBA Summer League 2018 is brought to you by Golden Corral's 99-cent Kids Nights, now every night at dinner.
More NBA Summer League action tomorrow from Las Vegas on ESPNU and ESPN2, 3 Eastern on ESPN, Pelicans and Pistons. Then on ESPN2, Pacers, Cavs, Hornets, Celtics, and then back to ESPNU for Bucks, Nuggets, and Nets, Timberwolves. All games also streaming live on the ESPN app. Laker Nation in the house tonight. Milwaukee Bucks, the Minnesota Timberwolves played a nice game tonight against the Toronto Raptors. Raptors with a new head coach, Nick Nurse. I find the dynamic a little bit interesting with the Raptors. Their main protagonist and tormentor, LeBron James, a.k.a. LeBronto, is in Los Angeles now. And don't miss that. And, you know, Nick Nurse takes over a team that won 59 games. It's interesting to think where the bar of expectation is set for that team now.
Well,
Nick Nurse will do a fine job.
He will. He's very well thought of. And I will say this, I'm anxious. I know everybody thinks Boston and Philly are going to compete for that East title, and I agree. Just think the moves that Indiana made are impressive. I think Tyreke Evans is the perfect addition to them. They're going to be deep. Kevin Pritchard has had yet another solid free agency.
A winning offseason for the Pacers.
Winning offseason, better stated.
Yeah, got Oladipo last year in the Paul George deal, and Caruso inside. So let me ask you this then. Eastern Conference. As of today, I know it's a long ways out. Who's your favorite to win the East?
Boston.
Okay. With a healthy Kyrie and Gordon Hayward?
And the accelerated growth that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum were able to experience. They were thrust into, and Terry Rozier, who went a long way to making people believe he's a starting point guard at the NBA level.
Terry Rozier, I ran into him in a gym here in Las Vegas a couple days ago, and he was working up a lather in the middle of July here, and put in a good couple of hours, and looking forward to another great season. He hasn't taken his pedal off the metal.
No, that's a hungry, serious, and a group that wants to work. And I'm talking about Rozier, Brown, and Tatum. Brad Stevens had told us all season long that you could go at those guys, you could coach them hard, their teammates could coach them hard, critique them, and they'd come back for more.
Carter stepping out and missing the 3 that time. He shot close to 40% on his 3-pointers at Duke last year. Mykhailiuk, speaking of 3-point shooting, trying to put this one away for the Los Angeles Lakers. He got 15 now. 3:10 to go. Back after this.
Josh Hart doing everything you would expect a second-year guy who saw his share of time do. Navigates the pick and roll, puts that pass perfectly into the hands of King. All he's got to do is lay it up. He's been terrific, Mark.
Yeah, you brought up the point earlier as he has 19 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. How does he fit and the rest of the Lakers fit into the style of play that Luke Walton has in store for the Lakers this year with LeBron James. How much do you think he's going to handle the ball?
Well, think about Luke's sensibilities, right? Luke wants to see the ball moving. You were discussing yesterday that he wants 300 passes.
Right.
Did you see Bill Platsky's article in the Los Angeles Times today?
No.
It was really interesting. It just basically said LeBron will probably have a say in some acquisitions. He may have a say in how the team is going to play, and obviously that goes directly to Luke. And then our own Dave McMenamin did a story today about Luke Walton reaching out to Ty Lue, and Ty Lue basically dispelling, saying this idea that LeBron's hard to coach, going to, try to all kinds of machinations. I don't have it right in front of me. But he basically dispelled this notion about what the outside views LeBron as.
I saw the headline. Lou basically said LeBron made me a championship coach. And
correct.
Cassidy has more on that.
Yeah, Dave McMenamin, the article on ESPN.com right now. Basically, Ty Lue said, my thing is, I just want to tell Luke Walton and let him know that the stuff that people say and you read, Bron's not like that. Like, they make it seem like he's hard on the coach, he's hard on the organization. He's nothing like that. That's the most important thing I want to convey with him, that he's not like that. And my biggest thing is the zoo that comes from the outside media. It's really not coming from within, because everybody he deals with, Maverick Carter, Randy Mims, all those guys professional. So it would be no problem from any of those guys, and Bron carries himself the right way. And so we went on and on and on about that. Luke Walton and Ty Lue are going to have breakfast tomorrow morning. Also, Walton has reached out to Eric Spoelstra to pick his brain, as well as Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye, to just, get as much information what it's like to coach LeBron James.
Thank you so much, Cassidy. And all the things I was trying to get to, she just stated perfectly. And think about it. You have a young core. Like, Luke has terrific young talent to build. And what happens with all those pieces? Do they have to get rid of it? Who knows? But as it stands now, I remember what Kyle Korver told us about LeBron as a teammate. And you think you're working hard until you get to the gym 3 hours ahead of time, and he's in a full lather. He's already been there shooting. He's already, lifted his weights. You want to talk about somebody setting the tone and, teaching your culture and the work habits. LeBron's great because LeBron's been gifted with some physical attributes, but LeBron's great because LeBron has paid a high, heavy price to be great.
Yeah, I saw it firsthand for 4 years when he was down in Miami. The amount of resources that he uses to keep himself in tremendous, unprecedented condition. They're going to count the bucket. And the foul. That was Nick King who got the hoop to go, and
I'll tell
Shane
you
Marshall,
what, man,
our cameraman.
All I know is Shane's back at work already. He got plowed over, and as soon as he got up, he picked the camera up and went right back to work. My goodness. Did Shane play football?
Yeah, either that or he was a wrestler or some tough guy. UCF maybe. You good? All right, Shane. You got that focus. Thank you. 14-point lead for the Lakers. A little over a minute to go. Los Angeles on the verge of improving to 2-0. They are the defending and reigning Summer League champions. Jarnell Stokes inside. And under a minute to go. So what'd you make of the, not just Josh Hart, we talked about him, but some of the other guys tonight. Mo Wagner with 8 points, 14 rebounds, 2 blocks. We saw him last night. Anything subtly different about what he did today that might have been better or not as well?
Having watched him at Michigan in the trip to the run to the Final Four, I knew he was super skilled. I knew he was brought great size, great feel. What I didn't see translate to the screen was the intensity and the edge that he plays with. Listen, I love the skill, but boy, the NBA is a man's league. You better want to compete and not back down, and he won't.
Harris with a nice show and go. Wiggs with the pull-up, pardon me. And this one is cooked, glazed, and sliced. The Lakers going to win it 69-60. More Big Three Summer League games coming up on Tuesday here in Vegas, starting at 4:30 Eastern on ESPNU. The Jazz and the Heat. And on ESPN2, Kings, Grizzlies, Lakers, Knicks. All games also streaming live on the ESPN app. All the ball that you want, all the hoop until you finished eating it all up. Our final score, once again, the Lakers win it 69-60. Josh Hart leading the way for the Los Angeles Lakers, who improve to 2-0. And for the Chicago Bulls, Wendell Carter kind of shut it down after that little knee thing, but certainly looked good again tonight.
Lakers looking good defending their title thus far.
Yeah. Mo Wagner with 14 boards. And what's your take with, in the big picture, what happened today, Summer League? Not just our game, Doris, the game before. We saw Memphis and Mo Bamba.
Kevin Knox still doing some good things for the New York Knicks, and I love Mo Bamba.
That's the New York Knicks man in you coming out. Get past that.
Got a rep.
Yes. It's a wrap, folks. 69-60 the final. Formula One Rolex British Grand Prix coming up next for Doris Burke and Cassidy Hubbard. Got a lot of heart there for the Lakers tonight. Good night, everybody from Vegas.